All right, here we go. Jay Diggs.
Yes, sir.
Me and you go back 10 plus years.
More than that, yes, sir.
You know, from American Gangster, actually from Ghost Ride the Whip.
Ghost Ride, that's what started the American
My
Gangster.
first ever documentary. And then, which led to the American Gangster Romper Room Mac Dre episode, which you were in.
Yes, sir.
And 10 years later.
Here we are.
Here we are again.
Yeah, I'm still in the game, man. I ain't going nowhere.
You looking good, man.
I appreciate it.
You looking good? You looking healthy?
I appreciate it.
Looks like you haven't aged at all, actually.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's what it is. California living.
Yeah. Smoking good. You gotta
Yes,
smoke
sir.
good.
So, we've covered a lot of stuff in the past, but, not on VladTV. So I want to get into the whole story and the whole timeline.
Right.
So let's go ahead and start at the beginning. You grew up in Vallejo, Crest Side neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
Fairly rough upbringing.
As far as the crest?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's the streets.
I've been through there a few times.
Yeah.
With you.
You seen it all?
It's a fairly rough area.
Yeah.
In fact, Vallejo was I think the first California city to file for bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy, yeah. We broke that town years ago.
That's how bad it was. Now, you actually started out selling drugs.
Yeah, we started off in the streets, like most kids.
Yeah.
Back then, I'm an '80s baby, so the '80s, that's what it was. It was the drug game. Drug game was good.
Yep. So you actually started out, like how old when you actually started selling crack and so forth?
Probably about 14, 15.
Okay.
Right around there. Yeah, when I really was in it.
Okay. Were you doing it like heavy, like every day, or was it just like, let me just do it to get a few
No,
dollars?
it became my way of life. Like that's how I paid my bills. I eventually had to move up. I moved out of my mom's house, 16, 17, somewhere around there. That was my way of life at that time. That was it. If I wasn't selling no dope, and I wasn't getting no food that day, wasn't getting no bills paid, wasn't none of that. That's how I was a young kid. That was my experiment. I experimented with crack, jumped in the streets, and never looked back, basically.
Okay. But then a big drug bust happened in Vallejo.
Yeah.
I guess there was a garbage truck.
Yeah, they had a big sting, like every other city, they got their own stings. Our particular sting was they kept sending this truck through, and of course the neighborhood everybody out doing what they do. There ain't nobody paying no attention to the garbage truck. Nobody care. So it was laced with cameras, so they was getting a lot of footage of what was going on in the neighborhood, and it created a big sting where they came through and they swept the whole neighborhood up, behind drugs. So that was one of the movements back in the Crest that changed the game.
Well, 160 people got busted.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a sting that big.
Yeah, well, no, there's some big sting. But it was like I said, it was just a crack sting. It wasn't everybody in the movement wasn't. It was a crack dope dealer neighborhood sting. So they was hitting dope dealers. They was hitting dope fiends. They was hitting people coming through buying shit. They was doing all the shit. So it totaled out to 160. People got caught up in the sting, didn't have nothing to do with shit just because they was being seen interacting with it. So it was, it was one of them situations. It got ironed out. A lot of people got cases dismissed, but the main people they wanted, they got caught up.
Okay. Did you get caught in that sting?
No, I didn't get caught in that particular sting. No.
Okay.
I did catch a drug case around that time, but it wasn't that particular sting that caught me. Yeah.
So they caught you with a drug case. And you were what, a teenager during that time?
Yeah, I was about 16.
And just what, juvie?
Yeah, I went to juvenile hall, went through all the bullshit with juvenile hall, and ended up getting out of the hall. At that time, that's when I'm going through with moms. So I'm really spending way more time in the neighborhood, because moms, keep it 100. My moms didn't play that shit. She knew the game. She from the Crest, to keep it 100. My mom grew up in the Crest. She was Crest before me. Her mama grew up in the Crest. My great-grandmama had a house in the Crest. So that's how deep my roots is in the Crest. Like I say, just moved there. This is my roots. So she know all the game. Her brothers is in the street. So, when she had, of course, any mom, they call themselves a good mom, gonna not want their kids in the streets, no matter what. So yeah, she didn't want me in the streets, but I chose to go in the streets. So when I caught the case, that was my time when me and her start separating a little bit. She was like, okay, you doing your thing. So I went and did my thing. I had to go separate myself from my mom and really jumped into the streets in the Crest.
Okay, so you get busted for the drug case. Mm-hmm. How long did you do in juvie?
Probably a couple weeks.
Couple weeks. Okay, so it's a little light serious. Slap on the wrist.
Yeah, it wasn't that serious.
And then you moved to robbing pizza parlors.
Yeah, that was it just wasn't just moved to robbing pizza parlors. You know, it's my crew, like any other crew. You know, somebody in the crew gonna come up with an idea, and not to say no names. Somebody in the crew come up with an idea, and you know, as youngsters, teenagers, you know, sometimes you try shit. So that's what we did. You know, one of the dudes, you know, had an idea like, man, let's do this. Whoop, whoop. I got a lick. It's sweet. You know what I mean? Inside job kind of shit, and it worked. The first one worked.
Oh, okay. So someone within the pizza spot was like, okay, y'all need to come at this point.
At one particular lick, one particular lick, somebody, we had an inside job. And actually it's crazy because it was the particular inside that I had was it was a Hercules round table pizza. They actually used that clip in the Unsolved Mysteries. When they ran the Unsolved Mysteries, ran an episode on us in '92. They had a clip of two people running up in a pizza place. And that was actually an inside job. When we ran up in there, the register and shit was already sitting up. They was taking it out to go count the money in the back. So that was, you know, that was just one of the licks. Not all of them, of course, was that, but that was one of the ones that set the fire under my feet.
Well, I guess 30 pizza places got robbed altogether?
Yeah, well, it was they you know, they had their count. I don't know. We didn't sit back and make no counts, but it was somewhere in the high.
Somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And it was just, you know, there was licks every day. You know, I mean, it was different licks in different cities. It just became, you know, part of the game.
And you were involved in a bunch of those?
Definitely.
Okay. How much would you make? Like, what was the most you made off of a pizza rob?
I mean, off the pizza places, we'd go in and it'd be, you know, like I say, we normally, the way we played it, it'd normally be a weekend thing. Back then, you know, you always had the baseball teams and shit come in on the weekend, and they didn't do their drops until Monday. You know, it wasn't this new dimensional shit, wasn't no Brinks every day pulling up, wasn't none of that shit. So the idea was to go ahead and get it at the end of the weekend or early on or early Monday before they did their drop. So normally a pizza place, they wouldn't, you know, they would have probably about 8,000-10,000 in there, which was cool for a 16-year-old, 17-year-old. You know, that was, and you had a few of them, it was good. Sometimes it'd be less, sometimes it'd be 5,000, 4,000. You know, it was a gamble like anything else.
And you weren't doing it solo. It'd be like what, 2-man teams?
Nah, it'd be like 2, maybe the most 3. We split it up. You know, our crew was 10 to 12 on the streets at a time. So, you know, different people split up. 3 might go and do this, 3 might do this, 2 might do that. You know, and it wasn't like that every time that everybody knew. Sometimes I'll pull up, man, Cuddy, I got one. Like, you got one? I got one. Come on. And we creep off and go knock something down, and then the other Cuddies be like, man, y'all hit this? What the fuck? I ain't telling you, man. Hey, so, you know, we used to do shit like that.
So, did anyone ever get shot or pistol whipped or anything else like that in the process?
With the pizza parlors, I mean, a few people got roughed up, not shot, not pistol whipped. No, nobody got hurt like that. You know, of course, you're gonna have sometimes you gotta, hey, grab somebody, you know, but it wasn't never really nothing where the situation got out of hand and somebody, oh, I got this or I got that. You know, it might have been somebody might have got roughed up a little bit, but it was nothing ever serious.
But that's it. Now, your crew was called the Romper Room Gang.
Right. Well, it was Romper Room Crew.
Romper Room Crew.
And and
later
the feds
on,
and they turned it into Romper Room Gang. So,
exactly.
You know, we roll with it. That's what y'all want to make. That's what we gonna be for you.
And, you know, for those that grew up in the Bay Area, there was a kids show called the Romper Room.
Yeah,
it was Miss Nancy, I think. Was
yeah.
like this
And
white lady.
and actually, that was not just a Bay Area show. They did the filming in the Bay Area, but it was actually a national show.
Oh, it was national? Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, the Romper Room was, you can Google the Romper Room right now. It ran for many years.
Okay.
It was a kid-based show, and it was basically like a teacher, and she had the kids in the classrooms, and she used to get on this little mirror and she'd call the kids' names out, you know, and any kid on TV want to get their name called out. So, and this was young kid stuff. This wasn't no teenager show. This was, 5, 6, 7-year-old.
Yeah, elementary.
But it was popular, like, you know, so when I was growing up, it was something that was definitely on TV. So, our name came about just being a crew in the neighborhood, and we had a homeboy. Our homeboy was Jamie 08. You know, when the crew used to be out, our crew was jokesters. Like, used to be in the shit in the streets and playing games and all that shit. So, like, one of our homeboys might be going to a car ride, selling some dope or doing something. And to be funny, somebody in my crew might be, rollers! And, you know, of course, nigga, everybody gonna react and turn around. Ain't no rollers there. And niggas looking at us like badass kids. Get the fuck off the block, little Romper Room kids, you know. So that name stuck. That's how Jamie 08, he named the crew the Romper Room, and it stuck and ran with it.
Now, your cousin Kilo was, I guess, a half owner of Thiz.
Yes, sir. Him and Mac Dre started Thiz together right around '99. They switched it from Romp Records to Thiz Entertainment in '99, and they started that. I was still in prison. I was still in the feds at the time. I didn't get released till 2001.
Okay. Now, at the time, you guys were all rolling together. Mac Dre was part of, your crew.
Right.
Okay. Was he involved? Like, how involved was he? In terms of all the was he involved in the crack selling originally?
Oh, Mac Dre, yeah, he definitely was in the streets. Dre sold dope. He did all the shit. He was a street nigga. He did all the shit in the streets.
Okay.
But when he came down to the banks and shit.
We didn't get to the banks yet, but
okay.
With the pizza robberies, was he involved at all?
No.
Not
he
at all.
definitely knew, but he was not involved. By the time the pizza robberies was effective, he had a hit single out. So
Too Hard for the Radio?
Too Hard for the fucking radio. Mm-hmm. So the thing was to keep Dre out the way. You know what I mean? You the rapper, you stay out the way, let us do this street shit. My nigga, you just get us to the top with this rap shit.
Yeah. And Dre at this point was still very underground.
Very.
I mean, Too Hard for the Radio was a local hit, and it was big in Vallejo, but it wasn't like played on KMEL and the big radio stations.
It never hit the radio. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
He was never a radio artist. He came out with Too Hard for the fucking Radio was basically his first single, and his career was that. Dre didn't hit the radio until after Drake passed. Dre always was an underground artist.
So here you are, you guys are doing what you're doing, and Dre is starting to build up his music career. And then you guys get to the bank robberies. Mm. How involved were you in the bank robberies yourself initially?
I'm from the gate, very involved.
From the gate.
Like that's what at that time when the bank robberies was doing, that's how I ate. That's what I got up and I planned licks, and that was my day. I might slide past a bank, check it out, call one of my cuddies, tell them come slide through. How you like this? Like that was my plan. I got up like you would go to work. That was my work. I would get up, look for licks, look at them, see how they play, see if they had security. Like that became what I was doing. That was my daily thing.
According to the detectives and the FBI and so forth, 47 banks got robbed.
Yeah, something like that.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, sound about right.
Okay. You personally, do you remember how many banks you robbed, roughly?
Not at all. I nowhere close to 47, but I would say somewhere in the high teens.
High teens?
Yeah, high teens, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the most you ever got from a bank robbery?
Probably our highest lick was probably like right around about 140, probably about 130. Something like that, somewhere around there. And it was a special lick, definitely. Because majority of the licks that you get, you're not getting that. Majority of the bank licks is right around 30, 40,000. Like if you in there good, you might even, I think we had a bad lick one time where a motherfucker came out of there with like under 20, like ready to turn back around, like go back in this motherfucker right now. Like, so it just depends, it depends on what time you hit. And the way we did it, we was never the ones to go looking for trying to get the whole chunk, because it was a whole game there. You got to understand, they had die packs and they had tracers, so you couldn't just grab money like this and just run out of bank. Like you had to strategically make sure you grabbing some shit and not getting these die packs, and because once you exit the bank, this shit blows up, changes the money. So once you learn the game, you know that you're not coming out of the bank with 200, 300,000. Like it's not that type of shit. You take over lick is like that. You're gonna hit the counter. You're gonna get what you can get. Hopefully you get somewhere, like 40, 50. That's a plausible lick at that time. And that's, like I say, you gotta understand, this was the early 90s. This was that time, so that was good.
Did you ever get a pack of money with a die pack yourself?
Not me personally, but one of my cuddies have, yeah.
So they came outside and boom, blue paint everywhere.
Yeah, changed the whole color, the money no good. I've had another one that came, they got away with the lick and they at home and they separating the money, and the next thing you know, police surrounding the house because they had a tracer on in the money. So, they got different shit. They got different methods. So, like I say, you can't just go in there and just grabbing shit because they got money set up just to give you. You go in a bank now and you try to grab some shit, they got setup money. So as soon as you get outside, go ahead, take that shit.
With the bank robberies, did anyone ever get pistol whipped, shot, anything?
Not shot at. Yeah, it's been definitely a few pistol whippings. We had an incident with, a member in my crew. It was a high-speed chase with the police. We went from Richmond into Vallejo, across the bridge, where of course, the police chasing you trying to get away. My cuddy swung out the van and let loose. He got to spitting at the police. got them off of them for a hot minute. You know, one of my dudes got away, one of them got caught. You know what I mean? That was one of the biggest. That was one of the ones episodes they made the biggest, you know, thing about, like, okay, these niggas getting out of control. How they gunning that police and all the shit. So, you know, but that you know, that's one of them things. You're in a life and death situation. You already feel like I done did my ultimate crime. Like at the end of the day, let's do it. So yeah, it had a few situations, yeah.
Now, you guys, and you talked about this in the American Gangster episode, you guys were taking the money from the bank robberies and pouring it into Dre's music career.
That was the movement.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was keep Dre out the way. Dre, what you need? You need studio equipment. You need this. You need that. You know, my cutties was we grew up, you know, like brothers. So whatever you needed, you know, and it's hard. We almost had a policy where you can't say no. Like, you know, if I need something, man, you got it. You come on, bro. We cutties. This is how we do. And everybody, all the other cutties, we actually had a saying that we used to call it, we gonna take it back to the cutties. So if somebody asked for something or needed something and it was a dispute between two, then the two would take it back to the rest of the crew and we'd say, hey, well, and then the crew would give a judgment on it. Like, hey, man, you need to give him your car and let him use your car to go to school today. You know what I mean? So that was the type of shit that we did as a crew. So Dre was definitely not out the way. That was the thing. And then whatever Dre needed for his situation, we was trying to make it happen. And if it meant it was time to go hit a lick, well, let's go hit this lick so we can make sure that we got everything we need, because Dre was on the rise. And that, you know, of course, he had nothing to do with the plan and nothing to do with the licks and the shit. And it wasn't even the fact that he needed shit. It was the fact that, hey, we got it. So let's take this, you know what I mean? He was, you know, we'd go pick up a little keyboard or something. He'd be like, oh, this shit, I need this. And he'd get excited. And next thing you know, he making beats and shit. Oh, this is what I needed. Oh, a new microphone or something, you know? And that's what motivated him to do his thing. So, and that's, you know, that's what a crew is. You want to motivate. Every crew got rappers. So, and if these young niggas now understand it, instead of trying to be the main rapper in the crew, you play a role and you motivate the nigga that y'all know that's hot, you can get somewhere with this shit. So that's what we did. We motivated Dre. Like, hey, nigga, you go get in the studio, nigga, go rap about this, and then go talk about that bitch. And you know what I mean? So that's what we should do. And it worked.
You guys are doing these bank robberies, and Mac Dre is getting more popular. And then the police and the FBI start to kind of get an idea what's starting to happen in the crest. And everyone starts getting harassed, including Dre. Pulled over all the time, regardless of what they're doing. So Dre responds with a diss song against the police called Punk Police.
Punk Police.
Where he actually named the detectives.
Detective Nickelman, Detective Ritz. I know y'all watching. They watch everything. They fans too. They wasn't fans then.
I mean, he was really the first rapper to ever do this. I mean, NWA had already dropped Fuck the Police, but they weren't actually naming actual police officers by name. Dre took it one step further and started naming the police officers by name.
Definitely.
Which, you know, and I interviewed these officers later on for American Gangster. They were pissed off over that.
Yeah.
Nicholson in particular was pissed off.
They definitely didn't like it. And like I say, at that point in time, that's at the time where they got to the point where they was like, okay, well, fuck it. Since y'all know we on y'all, we gonna let y'all know we on y'all. Like, we could be doing anything and they'll pull right up. Be like in the rearview mirror, like, what the fuck is this? And you know, they'll bounce out, pull up on the car. Who's that? Diggs? Kilo? Coolio? You know, they get the naming names. Dre, what y'all up to? You know what I mean? We could be at the hot dog stand in the city, but they just wanted to let us know that yeah, we own you niggas.
So you guys Dre had his biggest show to date in Fresno, opening up for Ice Cube?
Ice Cube. It was Ice Cube then, and at the time it was Dub C and the Mad Circle. That's when Dub C and Coolio with the hair, they had the group, and they had the DJ was Crazy Tunes. So they was the Mad Circle. So Cube was endorsing them at the time, so they was opening up for Cube, and we opened up for that show. That was our first time on the road. We was still, you know, teenager. That was our first time on the road, so we hit the road. Let's go. We opening up for Cube.
Now, in the process of going on the road to Fresno, you actually decide to plan a bank robbery in Fresno.
Yeah, well, not in the process of going. That's the opposite. What happened is we get out there, we do the show. So after the show, you know, we met some cute little bitches and shit. We went and did all the shit, go out to the little after party and the little restaurants. So while I'm out there, I'm doing my homework. This is what I do. You know what I mean? At the time, I was a jack boy. When you do shit like that, you do your homework. Wherever you go, you see some shit, that's exciting or look like it's gonna get you where you're trying to be, you're gonna get on it. So I had came up with the plan. I tell Kilo, I'm like, Cuddy, let's slide back out here. We had the Bay hot by now. By now, the whole Bay hot. Every night it's on the news about the bank robberies. They looking for the dudes. They got this as a witness or this is a suspect. So we like, let's get out the Bay. So I'm like, man, let's play this Fresno area. We got some little chicks out here. We can come down here and do our thing. So.
Okay, so it's you, Kilo, Mac Dre, and another person who ended up being an informant.
An informant. Corey. Yeah, Corey Dunn. Let's say his name, please.
Corey Dunn.
Yeah, rest in peace, Corey Dunn.
Oh, he's dead now?
Yeah, he's dead.
Okay. How long did he die?
He died in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, he got shot in the head in the garage or some shit, when you do a lot of bullshit in the streets, he had so much shit going on, like it was just, it was bound to happen.
How did you guys know Corey?
Corey, I met him actually through one of his cousins. I was one of them dudes in our town that fucked with niggas from everywhere. I'm one of the dudes that could fuck with some of everybody. I was really, so one of his cousins was from another neighborhood. It was one who turned me on to him. And his cousin was a baller. This nigga got a lot of money. So me and him was, we fucked with each other. So he told me like, man, I got my little cousin, man, he trying to tap in with, he be getting them cars. I know how you get down, you need them cars.
Oh, so he would be the one that'd be stealing the cars.
That's all he did. He was the
getaway car.
Yeah, he was a fucking
stealer.
car thief.
Okay.
And so I tapped in with him and I used to use him to get cars. And it was crazy is before I even used him, he fucked with one of my other homeboys that was in jail, Khalid. They shared, they baby mamas were sisters or something. So that's what he did. All his life he stole cars. So when I started fucking with him, he would go steal cars for me. And I let him know, these cars gonna be used on licks, bro. So, keep them clean, make sure you got them right and all the shit. So, and I would give him a little bit more money to make sure, keep your mouth closed and all the shit.
Okay, like how much would he get paid for a stolen car?
It really would just depend. It wasn't much, because if he was just giving me the car or something, I'd probably throw him at that time probably about anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Just go give me a car. It's quick, nothing serious.
Okay, so he's with you guys, and he's actually wearing a wire.
Yeah. And the only reason why he was with us, because my thing was, well, finna go to Fresno and hit this lick. I need you to come down here. When you get down here, I need you to steal me a car so me and Kilo can go knock this lick off. In the process, he get at me. I had been fucking with him for a minute with the cars, and he tell me, hey, I need to make some extra bread. Can I ride? Can I drive for you and Kilo so y'all both can just go in and do y'all thing? Because only I wasn't even tripping. And I fucked around and said, I'm gonna let you go ahead and drive for us. I told him I'd go ahead and probably give him somewhere around 10 for a driving fee, depending on how it came out. And so that was the plan. We're gonna get out here and I'm gonna let him drive, and me and Kilo gonna run in the bank, and we're gonna knock this bank down and get up out of there.
Okay, why was he an informant? Did he get caught up with a bunch of shit himself?
They used that? That's what happened. He caught another case. Where he put his hands or something on his baby mama. She called the police. While he was in jail, she not pressing no charges, and he trying to figure out why he can't get out. The feds pull up on him while he in jail and say, hey, bro, look, we know you're not robbing these banks, but we found your print on some cars, so we know you know who robbing these banks. We looked you up. You a thief. You're not robbing them though, but you definitely know. And what he did was, since he was stuck in jail, they told him, look, like, we can make some shit happen to help you get out of this situation. They gonna press charges on you if not. So he ended up basically start working with the feds, and he told them, yeah, I've been stealing cars for Diggs for the last year or whatever, and he been robbing banks, him and the romper room crew and blah, blah, blah. So now they tell him, we throw this wire on.
So you guys are in Fresno. You, Kilo, Dre, and Corey. And you guys are planning this bank robbery in your hotel room.
And mind you, just so you know why Dre is even there. Dre wasn't even supposed to be there. It just so happened that I was with Dre the morning that we was leaving. Because you didn't ask me that. Well, we went straight into us going there. Dre was really never supposed to be in the car, so people probably trying to figure out why is Dre in the car with y'all going to rob this bank. But Dre was not supposed to be in the car with us, just so you know.
Oh, so Dre, so you guys are planning this whole bank robbery, I guess, back in the hotel.
Yeah, not even before we planned the bank robbery before I went to Fresno.
Okay.
Now, before I went to the morning I was leaving to go to Fresno, I was with Dre. So I'm talking to Kilo and I'm telling Kilo, you ready to go, blah, blah, blah. And Dre hear me talking like, hey, Cuddy, where y'all going? I'm like, we going to Fresno. And Dre like, bro, that's where we met the little bitches at, you know. Yeah. I'm going with y'all. No, Dre, we finna go take care of some other shit right quick. Like, what y'all on? Like, you already know. He like, oh, I stay at the hotel, man. Y'all go do y'all thing, nigga. When y'all get back, just come get me.
Okay.
So,
but while you guys are talking over this stuff with Dre, Corey's there and he's recording all these conversations.
Exactly. He has a wire on.
Yeah.
He's part of the conversation, basically.
Yeah.
He's part of the conversation. He has work to do. When we got there, I had to instruct him to go steal a car and do certain shit that he had a wire on that was basically solidifying his case. And the only thing Dre did, basically, by Dre's charge was conspiracy to commit armed bank robbery. My charge was conspiracy and attempt. So Dre's being, if you know anything about conspiracy is just the planning or / knowing of a crime, period. Be in a room with somebody and y'all can all say, hey, let's rob a bank tomorrow. That's a conspiracy to rob a bank, period.
Right.
You just by saying it.
You guys go jump in the stolen car, pull up to the bank. And was Dre in the car with you?
No, Dre is at the hotel.
Dre's back at the hotel.
Dre ain't nowhere near here.
So you, Kilo, and Corey are in this car.
Right.
You pull up to the bank. You get ready to rob it, but then you guys see a news van.
Yeah, I noticed it was a news van from Fresno, the Fresno area.
Yeah.
They had they news. I forget, they channel 57, 47, something like that. They had a news van. So I see the van. But it wasn't just a regular van. It was one of them vans that had the big antennas on it, you know, the cameras around. So I'm like, where's the camera to this van? It's a downtown area, too, so it's a lot of shit going on. Little cars riding by. Back then, the feds had these little Aries they used to drive with antennas on it. So little shit driving by.
Yeah.
So, but I peeped the van, and I'm like, where's the camera to this shit? And I'm like, man, this shit don't feel right. I'm telling Kilo, I'm like, Cuddy, you see this shit? And he the same way. He like, man, something ain't right about this shit. But the whole time, the rat nigga over here, Corey, he, man, I'm trying to get this, I need this little extra bread. We gonna do this? I'm like, man, nah, we done. So we shut it down. We didn't get out the car or nothing.
You cancel the bank robbery.
Cancel it, didn't even get out the car.
Go back to the hotel.
Back to the hotel.
And then all of you guys get arrested.
No, well, not right at the hotel. We get back to the hotel, we pick up Dre, and we get on the freeway. Now, what we do is, since Corey had already stole the car, I tell him, okay, keep that car. I use this car back in the Bay. So Corey in the stolen car, me, Dre, and Kilo in my car, and we driving. And Corey's in front of us on the freeway. We taking the 99. We got a 2.5 hour drive back to the Bay. So in the middle of the drive, an hour and a half in the drive, Corey pulls off to the side of the freeway, the side of the 99. I pull behind him. He run back to the car and asks me for some weed. I give him some weed. He run off. When he run off, Dre is in the passenger seat. Dre looking on the freeway past me, and his face just like, Cuddy, I just seen Ritz. Like, what the fuck? So he looking on the freeway, so he see a car with a detective from our town 2 hours away pass by. Like, what the fuck is he doing way out here in the middle of, he like, man, that was Rich. And I'm asking him like, man, bro, you sure? He like, bro, I just seen this motherfucker. I looked him right in his face. He looked at me. So instead of keep going straight on the freeway, I shoot across the freeway and start going the other way. And when I do that, all type of cars just start pulling off. It's all feds cars. They in everything from trucks, buses, and everything you can name, and they get on us.
Everyone gets arrested.
Yeah, me, Kilo, and Dre get arrested. Corey gone. Mind you, he was in the other car. He gone.
Okay.
And now they not mentioning him. They not asking, hey, where's your partner? We ain't said nothing. But me, Kilo, and Dre, we sitting back like, damn, when they gonna bring him in? If they got 30 cars, when they gonna bring Corey in? So now we putting it together like, they ain't asked about the nigga. They ain't brought him in. All three of us was right here. This nigga set us up. It all started playing. So now we playing back a little shit. We talking about it. And it came to a bubble. The nigga was wearing a wire.
You guys all get arrested. You spend a year, I guess, in county?
Yeah, a year in Fresno County Jail. Yeah, we went to trial.
It went to trial, and you guys all blew trial, essentially.
Yeah, we was found guilty in trial.
You did 10 years?
10.
Kilo did
8.
And Dre did
6.
You guys all do your time.
Everybody
ultimately, and everyone starts to get out.
And well, mind you, after me, Dre, and Kilo go down, other dudes from our crew. You know, bank robberies still happen. They still hitting licks. We trying to tell them, hey, bro, y'all sit down. But you know, niggas gonna do what niggas gonna do. So they still hitting licks. The Fed's still watching.
Coolio gets caught doing a bank robbery.
Big Don, Freaky D,
everyone.
Jay Smith, Ronnie Wags, Khalid, like my whole crew. It's all romper room dudes. They all start falling like, you feel me? And it was a whole nother, it's just a whole, after we went to jail, it was just a whole nother sweep of bank robberies. And basically, the bank robberies was saying, see, y'all got the wrong dudes. But at the end of the day, they was on everybody. They was on us.
So Dre does his 6 years. He gets out, Kilo gets out, you eventually get out, and Dre jumps right back into the music thing.
Yep.
And actually blows up bigger than before. Starts the whole, Thiz, party,
He started dropping CDs, he dropped a couple with the Rompilation. Yeah, he and at this time it was still, when he first get out, it was still Romp Records. He teamed up with one of my other cuddies who just got out from a murder, Decon. He had went to jail. Decon went to jail at 15, get out at 25. Him and Dre hook up, they start Romp Records. And they take off with the Rompilation. This when they first tap in with Messy and San Quinn and JT the Bigger Figure, the whole crew over there. And this when the city and Vallejo really just start tapping in. They did the whole Rompilation. Well, I was still in the pen, so this is all the stuff they was doing while I was still gone under Romp Records. And then in '99, when Kilo came home, is when they started Thiz Entertainment.
Yeah. And he really started to build a real cult following.
Exactly. When Thiz Entertainment, when it became Thiz Entertainment, that's when the cult, well actually the cult following was already, it started, as the kids young watching and following. But once Trill Television came out and they really got to see who Mac Dre was, like that was what let the world know. We already had the Bay Area, the Northern California, the Portland, the Seattle. They was already tapped in. And this was through tapes and wasn't no internet movement. Dre missed the internet movement.
Right. So you guys are doing shows all over the place now. You guys doing shows in Hawaii, like you said, Portland, all over California.
Seattle, Denver, Phoenix, Vegas.
And you guys are also connected with Kansas City. You guys go and do a show in Kansas City. Well, you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. It was Dre.
It was a bunch of Dre, Mac Mall, Doobie, Miami, Yuck Mouth, bunch of Bay Area rappers. It was a whole show. I hadn't been home from prison that long, so I couldn't go. I was still on federal probation, so I couldn't go. But they all went out to the show, Kansas City.
Now, did they actually do the show?
Yeah, the show. They did the show.
They did the show, and then I guess there was an after party.
Yeah, it was an after party.
Some sort of altercation happened.
Yeah, something happened.
Something happened at the
well,
party.
I'm gonna say, this is speculation. Something happened at the after party,
right?
But it wasn't nothing of. It was more of an argument with Dre and the promoter,
right?
Because the promoter wanted Dre to stay. And Dre, like, I did my job. Let me get my money. Let's leave. So they basically had that little.
After the after party, Dre's going back to his hotel. A car pulls up and shoots up the van that Dre's in. Dre gets killed.
Right.
Was the driver of the car also killed?
No. They say he crawled up out the van. Van flipped over. He crawled up out. He made it. He lived.
Okay. Huge tragedy.
Definitely.
At this point. And as soon as it happened, the streets start to talk. People started coming up with names of who was responsible for this. And a Kansas City rapper named Fat Tone.
One of the first names
was the one that people were pointing their fingers at.
Definitely.
And Fat Tone was like the local street dude, and he was known. He was, allegedly he had killed somebody. Allegedly he had robbed somebody. Bunch of different stories.
Allegedly,
a lot of allegedlys around him, and he liked that type of attention.
I really can't say.
Right.
Yeah, you know better than me.
Well, I interviewed his people.
Yeah. Okay.
I interviewed his friends and everything else like that. You know what I mean? So I could say it. A few months later, Fat Tone gets killed. Fat Tone, along with another guy,
Cowboy,
gets killed
in Las Vegas.
Right. Mac Minister gets convicted of the murder.
Right. Mac Minister and Jace Coleon.
Yeah. And I interviewed Mac Minister from prison.
Right.
He's doing quadruple life.
Yeah, they've got the same amount of time.
Oh, they both.
They both co-defendants. Mac Minister and Coley both got 4 life sentences. I just left Coleon in High Desert in Vegas. He was my cellie there recently. So yeah, they both got 4 life sentences.
Yeah.
You know.
According to the investigators that I actually interviewed while doing American Gangster, they were all saying that Fat Tone wasn't the guy who did it.
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
Nah.
Can you say who did it? Who you think did
I
it?
don't. I mean, from what I understand, the street saying everybody that did it is gone. They all supposed to be dead.
They're all dead.
That's what I understand. You know.
Okay.
That's what I understand. It's been, you know, so much shit happened in Kansas City after that shit happened. You know, there's a lot of shit that wasn't publicly known.
Right.
You understand?
Because I interviewed Tech Nine, I remember, and he said that he couldn't go back to the Bay for a while.
I wasn't able to go there for a while because at that time I was on the cover of Murder Dog with a gun like this, with red spiked hair, with Kansas City.
Yeah.
You know?
From everything I heard doing the documentary, I heard that Fat Tone really didn't have nothing to do with it.
He didn't. It's just people turning it into something. Yeah, Thizzle Van, I shot the Thizzle Man. I never heard that song, ever.
And I remember at one point I was DJing for Keek the Sneak, and we did a show in Kansas City, and we were all kind of worried. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like we had armed security and everything with us because it was like, yo.
But then again, like I say, I don't know.
Yeah.
These is just the rumors that you get. You know, people say this and people say that. Only thing I can say for sure is that I'm pretty sure if Fat Tone had nothing to do with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if the streets is correct, then the streets took care of their business. I don't know. That's Kansas City. You know, I you know, one thing about it is the shit happened out there. So I would hope that Dre's people from Kansas City would handle it appropriately. That's it. So I got love for Kansas City. I stay going out there, so I'm comfortable with Kansas City for sure.
So right around 2008, the FBI starts to investigate Thiz Entertainment.
Exactly. At the time, Thiz didn't know that the investigation was going on, but the investigation started behind one of the guys that we used to deal with, PSD, PSD the driver. Which
I actually interviewed him for Ghost Ride the Whip.
Yeah, exactly. Back then, we thought it was all good, but PS, he, you know, of course, he was part of our crew. He was part of he wasn't part of the Romper Room, but he was part of our family from the Crest. Him and Mac Dre and Doobie did an album called The Cutthroat Committee. You know, real big album on part of Dre Comeback. So we consider him one of ours. But at the end of the day, he did some cat shit. He fucked around and tried to hop on a plane with 6,000 pills. He had them taped to him and all the shit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he get pulled over in the airport with 6,000 pills, and basically he just started talking, and he got a full fucking investigation put on the whole nation basically. Some of the shit that he told was true, but he made up shit. You know, he did shit to do. Basically, they told him, you know, you got caught with 6,000 pills, my nigga. You finna go down. So what you need to do is you need to get enough information to get you on the street. So, you know, some people, you know, they gonna take that, you know. So this nigga, for some reason, he jumped on the other side of the fence and he decided to deal with them people when he got an investigation started.
So PSD told on everybody.
Yeah, well what he did, he definitely did that. But he wore wires.
Oh,
he did.
It was more than just tell. It was more than just cooperated and wore wires.
He cooperated and wore wire on people. Like he said some shit that was he told these people that me, Mac Dre, and I think Kilo was sending pills to Kansas City back in like he was just like Dre was dead. Like why would you tell him they're dead, man? Like the nigga was he was just saying shit. And Dre wasn't even sending no pills, but it was to them, that was information like, okay, this is a big thing. This is what y'all been doing. So he had to feed them enough information, like I said, to make them feel like, okay, we can cut your time. We give you a time cut with all the shit. So at the end of the day, the indictment got basically built behind Miami, our Uncle Miami.
Okay.
So they got on his phone. And they start tapping everything that he would call. So he was introduced to Miami was introduced to basically a police officer, and the police officer would call Miami for something, and Miami would call somebody else for it. Like he might call, say, "Hey, yeah, man, I need some pills," blah blah blah. And then Miami would call somebody else, "Hey, bro, I need some pills real quick." Just doing some middleman shit, you know, trying to make a few dollars. And every time he would do that shit, they was listening. So they had Miami phone tapped, and then everybody he called, they tapped. So this starts, he tapped there. So he called Doobie, they called tap Doobie phone, called Don, they top down phone. So, you know, that's how indictments go.
What kind of sentences did everyone ultimately get from all this?
Well, I can't speak. Well, there's some of they co-defendants not even from here. Some of them is from Oklahoma,
Okay.
where
But
that's where
in
he
terms
was
of
going.
Thiz,
Miami ended up getting 14. He got the most out of it. Like I say, he got 14 years. He took a deal for 14. Doobie took a deal for 8. Don did like 8. You know what I mean? Some of them just got phone counts, just talking on the phone. Hey, you got some pills? Okay, I'm gonna meet you later. That's a phone count. You feel me? Those dudes that got that, just got year just for that. So it was 30-something people that got indicted on the shit. And the range just went from time up from 30 and 40 years all the way down to a year, yeah.
did you get it?
I wasn't even on the indictment.
So
I was nowhere on the indictment.
You got to skip all that.
Yeah, I was nowhere on the indictment. It was
Thank
nowhere
God.
that they could prove. Everybody was on the indictment. They had phone taps on. They called on all the shit. So, you know, it's one thing for you to say, hey, I be buying something from somebody, but you got to prove that shit. You feel me? So he was able to get these people on phone taps and prove that he was buying shit from people or selling shit to people and all the shit. So at the end of the day, he worked out a deal. He was only in jail for a couple years, and then one day he just come home like, my nigga, what you doing home?
PSD?
Yeah, just come home out of nowhere. Like,
So has anyone from your crew seen him since
since
he came home?
Yeah, well, see, when he first came home, we didn't know he was telling. So we was under the impression that, you know, everything was all good. At first, of course, it was blah blah blah, what's going on, but nobody knew exactly what he had did. So he was home for 4 years before the indictment even came out. He was home. No, I don't gonna say that. It wasn't 4 years. He went down in 2008. He got out in about 2010. Somewhere around there, then the indictments dropped in 11. But the investigation had been going on for the whole time he was down, for the whole 4 years.
So did anyone actually see him after you found out that he was the informant?
I'm sure some people seen him.
Okay.
I haven't seen him. Like we had our words. We got a couple songs. Cause I'm one of the ones who busted him out. Once I finally figured it out, you feel me, I busted him out. I didn't see him, I put it in a song and told motherfuckers, hey, this nigga's a rat. And blah, blah, blah. He tried to do a song back and tried to say he wasn't. And then I came and I brought the paperwork, put the paperwork in the video, and then Doobie called from jail to confirm it. You know what I mean? Once your co-defendant called and say, hey, my nigga, this nigga told, it's over. So everybody started, then the paperwork came out. So after that happened, he just disappeared. Like if you look, he turned off his social medias, he's off, by rightful so, you know, just go ahead, go tuck away, man. Sometimes that's what you gotta do, man. You gotta climb in your hole.
So later on, you get arrested in Hawaii. What do they charge you with?
My charges was assault with a deadly weapon and terrorist threats.
Okay.
And in Hawaii, that's basically swinging a foreign object at somebody.
Okay.
As a terrorist threat.
Didn't they first try to get you on attempted murder?
Yeah, that's what they originally arrested me for, but I was charged with.
Yeah.
The charge. I was there. They had me there with no bail for a couple days. With the attempted murder, then they finally dropped it down to these other charges and gave me a bail.
And this was just like a fight, I guess, that happened?
Yeah, well, that's what it started. And basically, I was out there with my crew. We get in. One of my dudes get into it with the security at a club. Security guard hit him, punch him. You know what I mean? They outside, punch him, fracture his jaw and all the shit. And so basically, we get into it with the security. It's 3 of them. They big old dudes. It's 3 of them, it's 4 of us. And sticks came out, a knife came out, a few things happened. At the end of the day, they was running around, oh, look at me, look what they did, oh, my head, my neck, my back, all this shit. So we ended up in jail. But they came on us though, like they swinging on us. You know, they be bullying shit. You know, we wasn't from the island and none of this shit. So it was just these individuals right here, this particular bouncer, he was just on some shit.
Okay.
So
And ultimately, what, you just pleaded out?
Yeah, I ended up taking 5 years probation, so I was stuck. I ended up getting me a place over in Hawaii and going back and forth from Hawaii to Vegas. You know, I was already been living in Vegas for 10 years. I've been having a home in Vegas, so I'm going back and forth from Hawaii to Vegas. And then I fucked around and transferred my probation from Hawaii to Vegas because I had a marijuana case in Vegas too. So when I transferred my probation from Hawaii to Vegas, they switched my probation and I ended up getting watched in Vegas. So my Vegas probation was from a marijuana where they just ran up in my studio. I had bought Floyd Mayweather studio back in, what year I bought that? 2011. So I had the Vegas studio, everybody used to come through, fuck with, and the police came up in there, found 2 pounds of weed, some more probation type shit. So
okay, so police raided your Las Vegas spot. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess they say they went into a...
Well, this is the part right now, because we in court with this shit.
Okay.
You can bring it up, but I really can't speak on.
If it's an active case,
yes, it's definitely
then
active.
I'm not even
we fighting to get it
Okay.
back, bro. That's at the end of the day,
All
we
right.
fighting to get my bread back. So
Okay,
I
right,
really
because-
can't say what was in there.
Okay.
All I could tell you, I can because I said it in they using the shit because I said it in the letter.
Yeah.
So it's already a factual. But the thing is, it is an ongoing.
It's an ongoing case. And I guess what they're saying is they went into a secret compartment in your wall and they found $750,000 in cash.
Yeah. Well, they say whatever number they want to say.
Whatever number they want to say.
Yeah. So you can mention it because that's part of my probation violation. We just won't go into the details of what they found and what else they said they found, all the shit. Because at the end of the day, they basically trying to use my syrup. They trying to use my syrup as because they hell of my syrup. I got a THC syrup, which was about that's got to do with my son. It's a legal product that I started after my son passed. Okay. So they basically trying to use that shit to say that I'm trafficking. I caught a trafficking case. It's crazy. The whole story is crazy because I ended up catching a trafficking case after probation. So they violate my probation when they come in the house and take the money and the syrup. And then they wait till I get out of prison. They send me to prison. Wait till the day I get out of prison and they rebook me. Like the day I think I'm finna go home, they come get me like, oh no, Diggs, you finna go to Las Vegas County. You got a trafficking case for the same shit I just got violated. The syrup that we found in your house and the money you're trafficking. So they took this and they put a whole new case on me. So I had to prove, right after I get out of prison, I had to go back to court and prove, number one, that this wasn't no bunch of just syrup, that it was just like an edible.
Yeah.
They tried to make it like
weed.
It was just a weed edible. I had to prove it was an edible. They acting like it's promethazine with codeine.
Yeah.
And then two, I had several hosts. I had several hosts from Caesar's Palace, from MGM. I'm basically a gambler. I could prove that they came in and they said that this dude for the last 10 years, they had my Harris records. He come in the casino, he dropped 20,000. He came in the casino, he made 30,000. So I had all these records. Vegas being a cash state, I had all these records, and I had these dudes actually came in. My host from, shout out Caesar's Palace, my host from Harris actually came in my court and said that, hell yeah, for 10 years I could show you his income and outcome.
Okay. Well, hopefully all this thing will get cleared up. And
Oh,
yeah.
as long as I'm out of jail, that was my biggest concern.
At one point, you and Messy Marv started getting into it. What was that whole beef over? Now, I know Messy Marv somewhat. I've interviewed him before and so forth. What caused the friction between you two?
Hey, it's crazy, because Lil Dude was my little partner. I fucked with Mess. I fucked with his music, all this shit. But for some reason, he woke up one day and he just, he decided to go in on Dre. I could wake up.
Mac Dre.
Yeah, I wake up and I get a tag on my my Instagram shit. Hella people tagging me like, look at this, and I hit the tag and it's an album cover with my album. With my record logo with bullet holes in the face is the first thing I see. So I'm looking like, what the fuck? So I come to find out it's a song behind it. He made some kind of song, and then he had did an interview with one of the social media sites where he got to talking about I don't fuck with the Dre nigga. I didn't fuck with the Dre nigga. I fucked with Fat Tone. So when I'm hearing all this shit, I'm kind of confused because I'm like, well, hold on, is this the same Mess that, you know? First of all, I met the nigga. The first time I ever met Mess was with Dre in the Crest. They was on their way to Portland, and I took them niggas to the airport. I'm fresh out the feds. I took Mess and Dre, the whole crew, to the airport to fly out. Second of all, after Dre passed, one of your biggest songs you did at that time was a song with Dre on the hook, and you giving it up for Dre, and you, that's my nigga, and do that, and all this. And then now all of a sudden, 12, 13 years after he dead, I didn't fuck with the Dre nigga. So if you didn't fuck with him, my thing is, why you didn't make that clear before? And now all of a sudden, you just said that. So my thing is, Dre not here. But I'm Dre nigga. So Dre not here to say, okay, my nigga, you don't fuck with me, woo, woo, woo. I'm gonna step up. I don't care if nobody else I stepped up. So I told the nigga, I said, my nigga, that shit was foul. And when I see you, you gotta see me. You know what I mean? I'm some man-to-man shit though. Like, you know, I'm from the streets for sure. And I'm also a pen nigga. And the pen, my nigga, and from the streets where I came from, when you got a problem, you could tell a nigga, my nigga, come on, let me see you. Let's do some one-on-one shit, let's fight, nigga, whatever. I slap the fuck out you, you slap me back, and let's get it up. You feel me? That's where I come from. So I got at him. My nigga, when I see you, my nigga, me and you got a problem.
So Messy Marv decides to take it up a notch. And he shows up in the Crest neighborhood with a pistol in his car.
Allegedly.
Well, you see the pistol in the video.
Yeah, you know, allegedly. It could be a water gun. I don't know. It could be plastic. I don't know what these niggas be carrying these days.
Looks like a pistol.
I don't know, because there was another one where if you look at the close, he's supposed to have something else, but there was no clip in it. So I know he wasn't out there to do no damage and nothing. He wasn't mean on her. He had a gun with no clip. He wasn't. That's why he put it on camera, because there was no clip in the AR.
Well,
or whatever.
Still,
like he wasn't tripping. He wasn't doing nothing to gonna get him in trouble. He ain't that stupid.
Well, but he gets out of the car, and you see a whole bunch of scared people, like women with kids and stuff like that.
I definitely seen the tape. I definitely seen the tape. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, literally scaring people in the Crest. And you're like in Hawaii or something.
I mean, you know, if you a hitter in the streets, my nigga, and you do your homework, you gonna pretty much know where the nigga you looking for is at. And all the niggas, everybody else in the country knew where I was at.
Wasn't he saying like where Jay Diggs at?
Where Jay Diggs at? If he went on my Instagram, he didn't see me on the beach somewhere in Hawaii, but that's where I was at. And you know, and today, and, you know, Vlad, I'm gonna keep it 100, my nigga. In today's time, this is the internet game, my nigga. And if you watch the Tekashis and the niggas that blow up overnight, like Mess caught the Tekashi fever, you feel me? He wanted to get likes and views. Before he even posted the video, he told you, America, we finna go viral. That's all it was about. He wanted to do something that was gonna get him looked upon. And he did some dumb shit, of course. Like he got an answer for that. That's he got to deal with them streets that he jumped out on. You know what I mean? He ain't got to worry about Diggs. Diggs doing interviews and shit. You feel me? He got to worry about them streets he jumped out on, though. So that's a whole nother ball game.
Right.
Like, you jump out on niggas with guns and shit. You got to deal with that shit.
Well, he ended up signing to Mozzie's label right afterwards.
Is that what we signed with? Messy Marv now. Huh? Shout out Mozzie. Yeah, y'all got a fool over there. Messy Marv.
I've interviewed Mozzie before.
Yeah. I fuck with Mozzie. I fuck with his music.
Cool.
I don't really know the nigga like that personally. Like, you know, I didn't hit him up. My nigga, I need a verse. Shot it to him. He shot it right back to me. That's as much as I know him. You feel me? How I even know Mozzie was through Filthy. You know, Filthy, that's my little nigga. Me and Filthy, we did the album together.
Yeah, I fuck with Filthy.
And then I seen they did a song. I forget some song. And I'm like, okay, the little nigga got gas. So I knew who he was and all the shit. But you feel me? I really don't know him like that. So. But shout out to Messy Marv and the whole movement they got going on over there.
Well, I guess that Mozzie was a fan of
yeah, you can tell. Obvious. That's obvious, my nigga.
Yeah.
If you know Bay music, you could tell. Yeah. And if you ever heard Mozzie interview, you could tell he was a fan of Mess. So he pretty much signed one of his favorite rappers or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it didn't seem like it had anything to do with you or like he was trying to get at
I mean, you know, like I said, me personally, I feel like that's a slap in my little bro face because he fucked with him, like him and Filthy. You know, Mess and Filthy had shit going on for years. But our little shit, you know what I mean, that's just really new. Mess and Filthy had shit going on for years.
Oh, they were beefing?
Yeah, they had shit. So, and Filthy and like I say, Mozzie, they're supposed to be niggas. So, you know, I don't really know. Maybe they don't fuck with each other. I don't know. But me personally, from the outside looking in, I would look at that as a slap in Filthy face, my nigga. You know what I mean? And when I seen that, was the first thing I thought, like, damn, I thought that was Filthy nigga. This nigga didn't threaten Filthy life and all type of shit, and this is supposed to be your nigga. So I don't know. You know, it is what it is. He signed his favorite rapper, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't wrong with that. Niggas, as long as you stand out of niggas' beefs, But you know, he from the streets too, so he know how that shit go.
I just saw a video on Messy Marv's page where I guess he just got off arrest and he's wearing an ankle bracelet and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like
that's
that.
news to me. I didn't even know that nigga was there.
Fresh out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little upset that y'all would even believe any of this fake ass shit. Keep it real with you, fans. I apologize. Y'all know what a nigga bum on to say. Come on to say, nigga, when a nigga fuck up. But you know, we fucked up. I fucked up, my nigga. But it was just based on some fake ass shit, man. Somebody called 911. They said somebody tried to rob somebody somewhere else or something somewhere else. Or something that right there, their imagination right there, blood. But the whole SWAT team came out when they said the nigga called the phone, the whole police force. You feel what I'm saying? And nigga, they went to the spot, nigga, asked for nigga phone, and told the nigga, come on, man, you're going down in history around here, nigga. So that's what it was, but I'm out. They gave me this, and I'm fucking with it. Y'all hit me up.
He out. That's it.
Yeah, he's
Free
out.
mess. Yeah. Welcome home. All the shit. All the shit. All the shit.
Do you know if that arrest had something to do with him jumping out of the car?
No, I heard. I you know, from somebody posted the paperwork. I don't know. It's something about a 911. He called 911 about something. I don't know.
Okay.
I really,
It was
really
something else.
don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. But I do know we're gonna find out if that gun was real when I see him, because I'm gonna slap the shit out of him. I'm gonna slap the shit out of him. So we gonna find out if you carrying a real gun or not, nigga. As soon as I see him. It's you know, I'm a man though. I'm gonna do it on some man shit. So if he wanna whip a gun out after I slap the shit out of him, go ahead. But I'm gonna slap the shit out you, my nigga. That's it. This is also some man shit. You know, I ain't gonna threaten a nigga life or nothing, but he gonna have to see digs.
Well, you had 10 children.
No, let's start that back. I had 9 children
You had
and I
9
lost
children.
one.
Well, that's what
I got 10 now.
Oh, I see what you're
So-
saying. Oh, okay. You
We don't got to discuss that. At the time when it happened, just I had 9
Okay.
children and one.
You
at the
had
time.
you had 9 children, and was it your oldest son?
Yeah, my oldest son.
What was his name?
His name is Duda. That's what we call him, Duda. His real name is Gerald
Okay.
Diggs. All my kids' name J Diggs. All 9 of them. But yeah,
He passed away at 21 years old.
exactly.
What was it from?
It was misuse of promethazine with codeine syrup.
Lean, basically.
Lean, exactly. Basically, shit, right around the time he was, probably about 19, like all of the other youngsters, start playing with the syrup shit. But when he was 20 years old, he had his first seizure out of nowhere. Had never had a seizure a day in his life. And one day he just had a seizure. He was living with me in Vegas, so I'm fucked up, like what the fuck going on? We call the ambulance, you know, they come through and then so we trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. He ain't never had a seizure a day in his life. He come home, he feeling better. 2 days later, another seizure. 3 days later, another seizure. Next week is another seizure. For the next year of his life, my son would be lucky to go a week without having a seizure. Just out of nowhere, he just started. And it's basically the same thing that Lil Wayne go through. So that promethazine with codeine, sometimes it triggers shit in your body. And he wasn't even a heavy user. You can be it's just your chemistry, your chemical chemistry, but
Well, once he started having the first couple seizures, was he still using? After?
no, he had stopped.
He stopped
He
completely.
definitely had stopped. Once we figured out, you know, I didn't know it was the promethazine with codeine. After the first seizure, we was just still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
And I'm, you know, as a father, I'm trying to analyze everything. What the fuck is you doing? What the fuck? What are you doing that I don't know about? And I seen him with the cup and shit. I'm like, this what the fuck you fucking with? And he was like, every now and then. So I Googled this shit. Like, man, hold on. And one of the first thing pop up is it may cause seizures.
So,
So
he just
once I seen that, I get the motherfucking cup out my house. Don't ever come around here with that shit. I hated that shit. So I didn't let him fuck with it. And he lived with me, so I monitored him. I would know, you feel me? I took him on the road with me. He was my hype man on stage, you feel me? He was all the shit. So he wasn't drinking no more, but he still was seizures. He would be lucky have a seizure. He'd be lucky to go, like I said, a week without having a seizure.
So even though he completely stopped drinking lean, the seizures.
Once they kick in, they kick in. Like I said, same thing, Lil Wayne. A lot of rappers is going through it. They ain't gonna tell you about that part of the shit though. There's some niggas right now that's under 24-hour observation. Lil Wayne, them type of guys, they got to be watched behind that shit. Like that shit real. Once that shit kick in and you start having them seizures, you might have it any time. What happened with him, he had one when nobody was home, and he passed in his sleep.
Wow. How long ago was this?
This was in 2014, March.
5 years ago.
Yeah, Actually, it'll be up March. Next month is his reunion, the 14th.
You know, and this was someone that was in your life that you were seeing all the time.
Every
This
day.
wasn't one of these estranged kids that you haven't seen for 4 or 5 years. This is someone that you're extremely close to, your only son, and you know, it's extremely unnatural for a father to bury his children. When you heard about the news, how bad did it hit you?
Oh, that shit killed me, crushed me. I was out of state. I was in Kansas City at the time in the studio. Got the call from my little cousin Quez, and when he told me, like, you know, it was first it just, he told me he was in the hospital, so I had to call the hospital and check. So when I called the hospital, they basically tell me, well, hold on, we're working on him right now. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? He's working on him right now. So the lady leave me on the line, so I'm sitting on the line. It was actually crazy because I was in the middle of filming a documentary at the time. So this whole episode, when I found this out, is actually on a documentary that I did called The Worst Week of My Life. And I was in the middle of filming the documentary in the studio recording when I get the call. So my cameraman was already filming. He was still filming, like, well, I'm in the studio working. So when I get the call, he never turned the camera off. So he actually caught my actual reactions when the lady, she put me on hold and like, we're working on him right now. And then she came back and she was like, fuck. I'm sorry, something. She said, I'm sorry to tell you he just passed away or something. And it just, I don't know, bro. I just went blank. I just was fucked up. I was fucked up, bro.
You started to cry at that point?
Definitely. I was fucked up.
When you compare the pain that you felt of Mac Dre passing and your son passing, what do you think hit you harder?
On my child, definitely.
Yeah.
Dre was my brother, for sure.
Yeah, but that's your
Yeah,
child.
that was my child, though.
Was that your firstborn?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely. Like that's no, you have to be a parent to understand the feeling to lose a child, my nigga. Like friends, cousins, even losing a parent. Like that shit.
Yeah.
You lose your child, your flesh and blood. That's
You know, and I try to say this all the time, man, in my interviews when I have these young kids come in and they're, you know, they sip lean and, you know, they talk about how much they spent and you know, and they well, I don't know anyone that's passed. And, you know, I tell them the story about how, you know, I hung out with Pimp C a week before he passed.
a friend of mine, shout out.
You know, and you know, you look at Fredo Santana. Lean is a very fucked up drug, man. It's essentially liquid heroin.
It's definitely a drug.
You know, and just because it's cool and it's a hip hop thing to do, it's got very serious repercussions, man. And you know, hopefully
that shit should get frowned upon on the same way crack and heroin. I don't understand why niggas glorify it, you know what I mean? But I hate that shit, my nigga. I'm not feeling that shit. I don't like that shit. You feel me? That shit stole from me.
And hopefully someone that's watching this is gonna take their bottle and flush it down the toilet.
And you know, just so you know, real quick, after that happened, you know, I got with a friend of mine, and we created one of the first THC syrups ever, and it's called OG Diggs THC syrup, and it's a THC syrup, and I have a CBD syrup, and it's for, you know, for people and patients that's having seizures, leukemia patients, cancer patients. It's really a good syrup, and it's in honor of my son. You feel me? So I've helped kids kick that shit. You know, even with the CBD. CBD ain't got no THC in it. So I've been giving that shit out. I sell that shit in cannabis clubs and everything, and it's an alternative to help. You know, I get dudes all the time, man, Diggs, I'm trying to kick this motherfucking cup. Where that THC syrup at? And I'll be right on it. I throw a motherfucker some free bottles.
Yeah.
Just trying to really kick the cup if I know they on some real shit.
I'm sorry for your loss, man. It's not something any parent, you know, your kids are supposed to bury you, not the other way around.
Oh no, that shit fucked up. That shit real fucked up.
Yeah. Well, J Diggs, man, it's been a long journey for the both of us. You know, 10 plus years. You know, my first commercial project was actually done with your help.
Ghost Ride the Whip.
Ghost Ride the Whip.
Yeah, did you tell him that I'm the first person that ever jumped on top of a car and did it like that, though?
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you let him know that, though,
Oh,
Vlad.
yeah, the original Ghost Rider.
I am
right
the
here,
original Ghost Rider. And shout out Critty Bo. You know, there was dudes, and shout out something terrible. Just real quick, though, because these is the dudes that they was jumping out, ghost walking the whip. Let's get the word straight. Ghost walking the whip. So they was out on the side of it. What I did is I jumped out one day and I came up with the idea, what would happen if I jumped on top of the car with nobody driving? I guarantee you that'll fuck people up. So I did the move where I invented ghost riding the whip. So anytime you see a motherfucker jump on top of a car and ain't nobody driving and they say ghost ride the whip, remember that shit.
That's what it is, man. Jay Diggs, man, I appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate you having me, Vlad.
You know, rest in peace to your son. Rest in peace to Mac Dre. I see you still have him on your chest.
You know.
Like always.
How many years it's been?
Been a lot of years.
A lot of years.
It's been a lot of years, man. And, you know, you still hear rappers shout out Mac Dre. You hear Drake do it.
Yeah, and just so the movie coming. It's been, and Your American Gangster film is definitely one of the setups for it. You feel me? Basically, this story that y'all just got is one of the film projects that's coming. We've been having meetings. It's all in the mix. I didn't sit down with everybody, with Mac Wanda. We didn't sit down with producers and everything. So we got that all in the work. I've been sat down with Marshawn Lynch. We got some other shit going too. We got some shit coming for y'all, man. So really stay tuned, man. This shit it's gonna live forever, bro.
That's what it is, man. I'm glad you're still out here looking good, looking healthy, doing your thing.
I'm trying to stay.
Pursuing your dreams, man. Staying out of jail.
Oh, yeah. You know how that shit go.
Yeah, man. Chasing this bag and doing your thing, man. Always a pleasure, man. Till next time.
Bro.
Peace.